decide to stop paying attention, I want you to know your brain is in danger. Since you're watching this video, you must be an avid internet user. I am here to tell you what has probably already happened to your brain, or what will happen if you continue such use of the internet. Most of our parents have been telling us for years how our generation is becoming less and less intelligent. They really aren't wrong. Many people like Nicholas Carr are attributing this to an increased use of the internet. One of his biggest concerns is the decreased level of critical thinking. Our parents are calling this the zombie apocalypse. Okay, for this next part, I want everyone to take a minute and think about the last time they used the internet. Was it for a social media site like Yik Yak, Twitter, or Facebook? Or was it for a long, in-depth read of a scholarly journal? If you're like me, it was probably the first. Okay, now while on this social media site, what was the longest post you read? Maybe 1 or 2 sentences, right? For Nicholas Carr, this is the source of the problem. Reading such short passages all the time causes our brain to freak out when there is a longer one. It's like you were training for a short 100-meter dash. You would get really good at it because that's what you trained for. Now imagine the coach tells you to run the mile. You'd suck because your body isn't used to such a long distance. Your brain is the same way. You have to train it. Think back to the last time your English professor had you read that 10 or more page short story. You either didn't read because you're lazy, or you really tried to read, but you took forever because you lost your place so many times, or you skimmed and didn't really recall much besides the main points. Now this may have been because it just wasn't something you cared much about. But what about the last time you saw an interesting headline in a newspaper? Did you read more than the first few paragraphs? Or did you even read past the headline? Don't worry, you're not alone. Lots of people have this problem, but at least you recognize it. So what do people like Nicholas Carr suggest we do about it? Well, he talks a lot about the problems and the eventual end of an advancing society if we continue down this path. Personally, I think elementary schools have the right idea. We all remember those annoying homework assignments where we had reading logs due every week. I think this is a brilliant solution. If we find a topic we enjoy, why not take 30 minutes to sit down and actually learn about it, without just skimming the internet for basic information? As students, we all have access to a library, and it's free, as long as you return the book on time. Now, if we follow these steps, we can begin retraining our brains. Step 1. Find a book on a topic that interests you. For this step, the internet might be a good source to find recommendations of a book based on certain topics. Step 2. Allot a certain time in your daily schedule for at least 30 minutes of reading somewhere in your week. It doesn't have to be every day. Start small, but this time does need to be enough time to really get into the reading. Step 3. Find a reading space. This should be a quiet and comfortable spot, but try to avoid somewhere too comfy that you might fall asleep in. Nap time can always be after reading time if you really need one. Step 4. Remove all distractions from the area. This includes, but is not limited to, phones, computers, tablets, dogs, kids, significant others, friends, anything or anyone that would cause you to lose focus on the task at hand. This will be the hardest step for most, since many can barely part with their phones long enough to shower, if they even do that. But you must be strong. It is your brain we are training. Now the rest is up to you, but make sure you're actually focusing on the book. This will take a lot of practice, but as with anything, practice makes perfect, and we need to perfect our critical thinking skills. How else are we going to solve life's most perplexing problems, like cancer, or even fitting all of our stuff from our dorms into our small cars? Well, that's all I have. Hopefully together we can prevent the zombie apocalypse.